money and putting it over there and putting it, at this kind of leverage where you're kind of using the house money and then leveraging the house money. And that got me pretty excited. So overall, I think this is a good choice that I made. And yeah, I want to put a lot of effort into this and, get as good as I can.
What you're saying is really awesome because, like you, I mean, I was watching Sheldon shows and he'd put up these setups. And of course, he's doing it like 3 or 4 hours before I even wake up. And by the time I get there, the trade is gone. And,
right.
and the exciting part, I think, and you said this, is that you won't have to rely on him for his setups. You'll find your own, right? So in California time, you'll find a setup. I'll give you an example. Is that right before all of you came on, we were having a little get together of all the mods and the staff and kind of talk to us about what was going to go on. And Sheldon said, "Oh, maybe there'll be a trade I can do on Room." And so while he was talking, I went and looked at the chart, and he got busy and never ended up doing the trade. But I saw the setup just like he had taught me, and I'm already up. Let's see, I'm up 16% in 30 minutes on that trade.
Beautiful.
So you learn to see it yourself. You learn to set it up yourself. You learn to set your own stop losses to make sure you're managing risk. I mean, this is all the stuff that you're going to learn in the course. And then myself and the other mods and the other mentors are geared up to help you. When you find this setup that you like, you go, "Hey, what about this?" We'll go, "Well, look at here and look over there." And so you'll get a lot of support. And it won't be long, within a couple of weeks, where you can do it 100% on your own, and you could actually be supporting other people as they learn. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. This is great that you guys are doing this.
Yeah, it's fun. Cool. And thank you. And who else we got? Jay and Lee, I see up here.
Just to let you all know, I see that a couple of you are asking about the replay. After the live event on Wednesday morning, we will then release the replay of today's Zoom. So you'll have to wait till the end of the week to be able to get it to watch it whenever you want to.
By the way, I'm going to give away a deep secret. The reason I joined being part of this group over here is I just love Shadow Rose accent. I just love this intro Rose. It makes me happy. You're welcome. What do we got? We got Lee and Jay. Anyone else want to come up?
Hey, everybody.
Hey, buddy. How are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Montreal.
From Montreal?
Montreal,
cool.
Canada.
Yay.
And, I'm sorry?
Yay.
Oh, yay. And I do love California, of course. But I got to say, one of the reasons I'm really happy to be here, I found the end of 2021, I had a little bit of a nice investment, and it started to look kind of nice. For like, and I'm a painter, so like to have something that's nice and aesthetic for me is like, other people would think it's a joke, like maybe to buy some bubble gum, but it's enough for me. And I kept on looking at the side, the pi cycle top, and I kept on thinking, okay, I got to get out pi cycle top. I'm going to look at it really closely, and that's going to be my exit plan. And I made a really dumb mistake. I started listening to tons of people, not just the banter group, but like George or whoever, and the whole gang. And so many people were like, "Oh yeah," all of a sudden they're talking about the pi cycle top, and they're like, "Yeah, but it's not going to be this time, because this time is going to be different and everything's going to be amazing." Oh, did I just lose everybody? I think I might have battery died.
We're here.
Oh,
We hear
okay.
you. We hear you.
Oh, good. Okay. So just plugging back in. So I let people make me I lost my faith in my original plan. I was like, oh, maybe this George guy knows more than me. So I just let it go. And famous last words, like, if I sold everything at the price cycle top, or like over the next week or 2 weeks after the price cycle top, I would last 2022 would have been a really fun year, and I'd just be buying like crazy right now.
Mhm.
And it taught me.
Welcome to the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, we all did that, and then the question is gonna be, did you learn your lesson? Or are you gonna do it again, right? And I think that's why so many of us are here, because I did the same thing, right? I rode up one bull cycle, I rode it back down to the Bitcoin to the mid-30s. I farmed it with Sheldon, then rode it back up, and everyone was swearing it's gonna go to 100. What is that? Plan B. It's gonna break 100 right now, you know, and yeah, and then here we are. But as long as we learn, right? Did we now lose you, Lee? No, I think he really lost his battery. Anyway, I mean, put in your in the chat. How many of you went through the exact same experience? You know. Yep. So anyway, Lee, wherever you are, thank you. That was so true for all of us. Oh, there you are. Did you hear? Yeah, I think your battery's cutting out, brother.
Yeah, you know, I plugged it back in, but it's cutting me crazy. So I just wish you all a wonderful day, and I look forward to being a part of the team.
Awesome. Just reach out when you need any help, and we're in it together. Lindy, are you there? Can you talk?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, get closer to the mic or turn it up a little bit.
I'll get closer to the computer.
Here we go.
So I'm from Florida. I live here in Florida, and pretty much the same story as I'm sure everybody here. A couple of years ago, there's a huge run with Dogecoin and Tiger King and a bunch of other coins, and I didn't know. I was a newbie. I followed all the YouTube influencers. I stayed in, and then I lost a bunch. But so I really need to find a strategy, and I've looked at several strategies with different people, and nothing really clicked. I learned a lot of stuff about reading charts, but couldn't come up with a good strategy. So I was really excited.
A big question is, I bought a few coins in the last run, but I bought them at the wrong time. Even my Bitcoin, I bought them like 46, 47. And I'm still having them. So a lot of them, even my Dogecoin, I'm still in red with them.
You mean like your bag, right? Your investment.
Yes. So I'm still like 60, 70% of them now. So I mean, I'm just looking at the right strategy to use to reduce this. I haven't got the gunpowder to buy like now, like they're very low. So the question, so just so I understand the question, sorry. So the question is that you have a portfolio that's in the red, and you want to know where to sell and where to buy. Not necessarily to buy them. I mean, I can hold on to them until they. But I mean, I haven't got the cash now to do dollar cost average and take advantage of the market now. So I'm just holding on to them.
Okay, so the question is where to sell?
Yes, and if there's any strategy, if there's anything you can advise.
Yeah, so here's the thing, like here's what also Sheldon teaches, is that you can just take your RSI, right? And then every time the RSI is above 90, sell. And every time it is below, and it's crossing, obviously. So around here, you would have sold probably. This would have been a best sell, actually. But whenever it's on the bottom, you buy back. So you wouldn't have lost anything, you see, because you would have sold here, here, and you would have bought back around here. Yeah. So, but then comes the next one. And actually it's not 90, but it should be, the setting should be 80-20. It's all in the course, by the way. It's all in the course. I saw someone asking about Bybit. Please go to the green channel. They can help you with all the exchange stuff. They really talk about all the exchange and everything. So you come back here. So here you
Okay, no problem.
So here you've got it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry. Yeah, I'll just try to cut everything brief. So here, for example, you would have sold here across, you would have bought back here. On this move, you would have made 15% more Ethereum. And then you wait. And then here you're in the top, you would have sold. And here you would have bought back. You probably would have been at break even. And then you wait. So what you have to do is that you have to back test this on all the coins you own and how did they work? Because maybe the strategy didn't work on the coin that you own. But if it did, for example, you would have sold it here, you would have bought back here, 18%. You would have sold it here, you would have bought back here, 22%. You would have sold it here, you would have bought back here, probably 5%. You would have.
Yeah, I understand that. That will work with my new, if I'm going into the market now to buy. But I'm talking of, let me give an example. I Cardano.
More coins. So if you look at our
I don't have the cash.
But man, look, listen. So you're holding, let's say 10 coins, right? You're holding the coins, right?
Yeah.
Right? You have the coins. Okay. So now here you have, let's say 10 coins. No, let's say here you have 10 coins here. So you sell here, you sell it.
Yeah.
So, and you sold the coin. So now you're sitting in dollars.
Mm-hmm.
And you're buying back here. So you sold here, you're buying back here.
Yeah.
So you've made 11%. So now you have 11 coins. You're still holding the coin. And here, that 11 coin loses all this value in dollars. It loses 20%. But you still have 11% more. So then here, you sell it again. You sell it. Then you have 11 coins. You sold the 11 coins into dollars. You buy back here. You have 23% more. So you have about 14 coins now. The 14 coins is still losing in value. It's still lost in value like 30-40%, but you have more coins. So when the bull comes, you'll be able to make more money.
That's it.
Okay. Hope it helps, man.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah, I think I just need to
Cheers.
share my detail, right? Yes, thank you.
Cool. But you will see it in the course and we'll have live events, so you will get it. Cheers.
Hello.
Hey.
Hey, doing well. Glad to be speaking to you today. I was called. I think I had a more general question. Just to give you. Yeah, I fell in love with that when I saw it. But I just wanted to give you a little bit background, just very real quick, so you can understand where I'm coming from. I started buying crypto in like 2017, primarily Bitcoin and Ethereum. Never really sold, and I messed around with altcoins, but I think it's just been a lack of confidence why I never really got into trading like that. So since that time, since 2017, I've been listening or watching YouTube videos every day. I've been researching this, researching that. So I think I got at the point where I still have the majority of all my coins I never really sold. And just from dollar cost averaging, I've done well. But I need help with organization. Like, how do I I just looked, I must be on like 24 exchanges. Some of them probably aren't even around anymore. And I have coins sitting over here. I have coins sitting over there. I was smart enough to get a hardware wallet. So the majority of my ETH and Bitcoin are sitting on my wallet. But I feel like, and I also work a full-time job. I work from home 3 days a week. So is there going to be any assistance with I think if I was me getting more organized would help me be more confident, and then that confidence would help with my trading. But so is there going to be any instruction on okay, this is how I feel like I got a big mess. It's a good mess to have, but I got a mess over here that I need to organize so it can go to the next level.
Yeah. So what you have to see is that right here, people teach it. So here we teach trading. So managing your portfolio is something that we can talk about in one of the live sessions. But what you have to see is that what Sharon is teaching as well is that you should not marry your bags, because that's exactly how you get wrecked. Buying in 2017. And then, but probably even if you bought in 2017, you're still up, so it's good. But if you bought in 2021 at 60K, you're down big time. So organizing, I would really truly say but this is just my personal opinion. I think I also hold long-term investments. Just bought it, don't care. My portfolio is down 60%, 70%. I don't care because, I know it's for the long term. But for the short term, I'm trading for a living. So trading can be good to manage your investment on the weekly chart to make more and more coins. So when the time comes when, Bitcoin is at 250,000, then you have more Bitcoin.
Yeah.
But it's also a strategy just to hold. If you have 10 years, 5 years, hold it. Don't bother. Trading is rather about, making you can look at trading in two ways. Either you make more coins, so you make all of the tokens that you hold, so that will not make more money. So the side on the day, on the weekly, so we can look at what we started Monday, and we okay, so how does that go? Okay, the supply, go so we can have X amount of hours.
Oh, man, I can't hear you. That's a shame because you sound like you were saying something really good.
I'll go check in with the mods and see if someone else can hop into the stage, since I think he's having audio issues.
Okay, sure, no problem. So basically, I've been investing since 2017, and I never really sold. I've been mainly buying ETH and Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that. Sorry, it's just. Sorry. Did you move on to the question, or should I jump back in, or?
Yeah, jump back in.
Okay, cool. So what you want to do is that you wanna I don't know where I was, but you can trade at different times. You can trade on so for example, you say that you have a full-time job, then trade on the 12-hour chart. That's fine. You can just go on a 12-hour chart and you will have probably 3 to 4 to 5 trades a month. And then you set your alerts. I just want to share my screen, and I'm sorry that my internet is just not working that well now, as some whatever. So you can just have your you can just have your alert set. And then whenever an alert goes off, then you just simply sit into the chart and be like, okay, so this is my time. So for example, here is ADA. I go on the 12 Cardano. I go on the 12 hour. Do you see my chart?
I'm sorry, I can't see it. Okay.
You see it, Chris? Okay, okay, so you see here, for example, so what I do, again, this is all gonna be in the course, yeah? It's all gonna be in the course. Don't focus on what I'm saying now, don't note it down, it's all in the course. I'm just telling you something to understand here. So if you say, okay, so I have a kid at work, whatever, I can trade 2, 3, 4 times a month. I don't want to spend hours and hours sitting by. I have a portfolio that I want to trade. I can spend some time on it, but not that much. So I go on the 12-hour chart, I look at the RSI, and I say, okay, so when my RSI is on the top, I need an alert. So I go on my RSI, I click here, I say add an alert for this level. And when my RSI is on the top, I get an alert. And then let's say I got an alert here. So I go, okay, so what do we see here? We have a trend line. Good. Did it break? No, it didn't. Okay. So my RSI is on the top. That's a good confirmation. My trend line is not broken yet. Let's see what about the Fibonacci. If I pull this up, is this in the golden zone? Yeah, it kind of is. Okay, so there might be a reversal here. Could this be a double top? Maybe. We'll see. And then I'll come back 12 hours later, see why this candle closes, and then look at it. Or I can come back the next day, because the good part about this is that you cannot really miss a trade, because look, for example, here you have this here. This is going to be a bad example because the RSI is not on top, but I don't want to spend time looking for trades. But let's say this was a trend line that you were playing, right? There's always a retest. So you could have, actually, this is actually a good example. So you say, okay, so here's my trend line. So I go, did this break? Yes, it did break. Okay, I will wait for the retest. So I set an alert here. And I say, okay, whenever this alert goes off, ring me. And then you will get a notification on your phone. You look at it and you say, okay, could this be the retest? Let's look at it. I'll need an RSI. RSI is on top and it is already crossing. This is good. Then I'll look at volume. Do we have big volume here? Yeah, the volume is decreasing. So the potential for this pump to stop is high. So I'm like, okay, this starts to be interesting for me. And then you go through all the combinations that you will learn in the course, and then you can just take this trade. But let's say you have so many hours. So you go on down on the 1 hour, and then you will just look at it and say, okay, so this is I would sell here, I would buy here, I would sell here, I would buy here. And then I do this every, I will have probably like 10 trades. What you will have to do also is to back test a lot. But again, this is going to be in the course, and this is why it's important to attend both on Mondays and Wednesdays, because Sheldon's going to speak all about it. So, but it's important to back test. Okay, how many times did my RSI do this? When my RSI did this, did the dump happen or there was still pump? For example, here, look at this. Here, my RSI on the top. There is a little tiny dump, but then it skyrocketed. Okay, so this means that out of 10 times, maybe 9 was good and the rest wasn't. So you have to back test everything and then follow on from there on. But what I would suggest you to do, and then maybe moving on to the next question, is to do the course, because it does make sense for you to make the course, to complete the course, and then you can just apply everything you learn on your bag. You don't have to necessarily trade as to make dollars day by day. What you can just do is to apply this on a daily chart, weekly chart, and then just go from there and make more coins, because when Bitcoin hits whatever 300,000, then you're ready. You have much more coins because you've traded, not just held.
Does it make sense to use part of what I've made so far? I'm thinking it does, because like I said, I've been buying since 2017, to use part of that to create a new portfolio just to trade.
100%. No, it depends on you. Like, do you want to trade? Do you want to trade? That's the question. I mean, and when I say trade, do you want to make more dollars? Because you do not have to sell into dollars to trade, as we just discussed. You can just take this RSI on the daily on the coins that you own and accumulate more coins. If you want to trade, fuck yeah, sell $200 worth of ETH or whatever, and then just do that.
Yeah, I want to be able to quit my job within the next 2 years. That's what I want to do. And be able to do, crypto full time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it makes sense, Yeah, I think you should do that. Just take some money and then just start trading with it, sure.
Got it.
Cheers, man.
Victor, you good, right? You good?
Yeah, what's up, Chris?
All right, just make sure, because I told her I was out driving, I'll come in and answer questions for you, but you good now. Hey, just tag me if something happens again.
Yeah, all
I'll
good,
go
brother.
All right,
Thanks. Safe journey, eh?
thank you.
Right.
Yes, it does. Thanks. Appreciate it.
And see you around, man. See you around. Complete the course, come to the events, see you.
Great.
Someone is asking, did Operation Choke Point take effect?
So you're in real close with it, because one of the things I learned, is I considered myself more of an investor in crypto and trader on foreign exchange. And one of the things I learned from Sheldon is that your investment portfolio is really a trading portfolio, just on a much longer time frame, right? So if you look at the token, the asset you're buying, and you look at it at the weekly or the monthly time frame, you'll see the exact same pattern you see on the 5-minute chart, just played out over a longer time, and using those same stochastic RSI indicator and averages and all the other stuff you'll learn how to get in and out of the market to preserve as much capital as possible, which is what it's about. So cool.
Yeah, so thanks you guys. Are we gonna be learning how to set up like a trailing stop loss in crypto? I don't know if that's even possible, and like.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And I don't know if that's covered in the course material, but it's one of the things you can bring up with one of the discussion groups, because there's some pros and cons with using a trailing stop. And we'll simply, like with any other tool, there's good parts to it, bad parts to it. So we'll sit and talk about it, and we'll go over what the downside to a trailing stop is, and then you get to use it as a tool.
Excellent. One more question.
Sure.
Are we gonna learn how to use like the crypto scanner to identify potential opportunities within TradingView? Because I did notice that option was there, that there is a crypto pairs screener. It's called a screener. And I know with stocks, you use a screener early in the morning before the S&P or like the NASDAQ opens up. But I just don't know if that's something we do in crypto, before day trading begins.
People do. People use screeners, people use the bubbles. There's all kinds of things to kind of get a list of tokens to be watching, so that you get a good setup. Yeah, I don't think it covers any of that in the course directly, but there's a million tools to kind of get that list of tokens that might be setting themselves up for good trade. And if you see one, share with the group.
Interesting.
Totally cool, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
The trick is, once you get something screened, what do you do now to make sure that you're entering at the best point possible, keeping your risk reduced as much as possible, and can maximize profit and get out before the thing turns around. So we'll help you actually do it once you've got the tokens you're looking at. But
I appreciate that. I'm such a noob in this space, so any help would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Glad you're here, man.
Okay.
Who else we got? Got Vikram, DeFi Pirate.
Yeah, hi guys, this is Vikram. I'm from India.
Welcome.
I'll be
Yeah, thank you so much. It feels good to be here in the midst of a loving community. Thank you so much. I'll be speaking a little slow because it's around 1:30 a.m. here and my mom is sleeping. So
Well, I'll talk quietly too.
okay, so I've never been a trader. I'm just beginning to enter the space. Only been here a few months. And so I want to ask if I go through those lessons that are provided to us as a part of the crypto sniper trading school, will that be enough to get me started? Because currently things seem a bit overwhelming.
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole purpose is think of yourself in kindergarten, right? You know, learning how to read, right? You're not trying to read, you know, a big long book. You're not trying to read anything fancy. Right now, you're learning how to put words together and letters together and where to put punctuation and make your first sentence, right? So don't try and jump ahead, walk step by step through the lessons. Make sure you really understand it. If you come across something in the lesson that you do not understand, just go into your team or go into general chat and ask. You know, one of the mods will probably pick it up, or other of your classmates will join in and help you kind of understand it. And things, these are simply, everything you learn are tools, right? Your moving average is a tool. Your stochastic RSI is a tool. All of these tools basically allow you to look at a chart with new eyes so that you can see potentially what price is going to do next, so that you can decide to enter a trade or not enter a trade. It's not that complicated, but right now it looks that way because it's all new. Just be patient, watch how people do things, watch the videos, and I gotta tell you, 3 weeks, almost a month ago, cohort 3, I was just starting it. They were all up on stage here going, I don't know if I can get it. And 3 weeks later, some of them were putting up charts showing trading opportunities that I took, right? They said, hey, look at this. Oh, wow, that's cool. Be patient with yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Let's walk through it together, and you'll be surprised in a couple weeks how good you get, Vikram.
Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you so much.
And
how do we?
And what do you do? Don't wake your mom up.
Yeah. And how do we tag you guys? Like, I'm new to Discord as well. So how do we find you after this is over?
Let's see, which team are you in? You're in Asia? Would that be?
Asia, but I don't know. But there's an option for Asia. Is it APAC?
Jack, you're saying which one would you do?
Yeah, India is in Asia, but I don't see any option for Asia here.
Yeah, it's APAC. It's APAC.
APAC, there we go.
All right,
APAC,
cool.
thank you. Megan, you're our savior, as always. Tag it and then just post a question in there. I think Sean is in APAC all the time. You'll see him there. Just tag him or tag me. I mean, I jump over there. I'll be on a different time zone, but just go, you know, the @ sign and be clicky or whoever. And
yeah,
one of us will be there for you.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, good. Glad you're in the group. And D5 Pirate, can you unmute? Want to come say hi?
Yo,
Yo,
hello?
yo, where you from? Hey,
London.
London.
London's in the. I'm in the banter squad sniper division. I'm well happy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like I've been watching crypto for a while. I got into it about the summer of the COVID. I bought some Bitcoin and ETH for my birthday, and then it just went up in like June a bit. Then I was like, yeah, this is the way forward. And I was doing really, really well. I think I was lucky with the timing, but my pay was coming in, and every time I put my pay in, Bitcoin and ETH was going up. And then a terrible thing happened. Like a SIM swap got played on me. I was just sitting at my laptop my phone signed out, my laptop signed me out of Google and everything like that. And yeah, I was deep into everything NFT, and it just slowed down my whole road. Luckily, luckily the hackers or the SIM swappers never got anything because I use an authenticator and I don't use Google like that. Do you know what I mean? But and it just slowed me right down, and my NFT is stuck on OpenSea. I don't know how to move it, but then I'm just done a whole heap of trading. Like I use free commerce and a free signal, and I'm trying to move away from all of that, you know?
Yep.
And I wanted to do a leverage trade last night, and I just said, no way, because there were things that I didn't understand, like the trigger point. I want to put a stop loss in there and things like that. And I just want to move away from commerce and signals, and I know it's possible, you know. And I'm watching Sheldon and the banter. I'm watching it for months, thinking I wanna get into this cohort, and now I'm just nervous and excited at the same time, you know.
Good. Yeah, no, that's great. And what you said, by the way, about being nervous and then you stopped from getting into leverage trade. Congratulations. That was a good choice.
Yeah, I know, because I haven't even got much in there either, you know. I was like, you know what, it's the cohort, come on, easy yourself, calm down. So yeah, but I've got a question. Someone said, how do you know if you're verified? I can see in the top right corner the exchange that I'm on. So does that mean I'm verified with you as well?
Saying?
Am I verified with the Sniper School as well?
In the top right corner, in the Sniper, in the school website, do you see the icon for the exchange?
Yeah, I can see my icon, and I got 1,800 gems, man. I like that. So yeah.
Yeah, as long as you see the icon for the exchange in the top right corner, that means you're verified for the school.
Okay, then. So how in terms of sort of like when I want some random help at some crazy time of the morning, who's in London that I should be tagging or friend requesting?
Oh, there's a lot of people in London. Just seriously, just ask your question right in that chat, because it's a very active chat. And someone will pick it up for sure.
All right then, nice one. But yeah, just listening to everyone's questions. Everyone's asking questions that I would have asked anyway. But yeah, great to be here. For anyone else, thanks. For anyone else, one more thing. For anyone else that is listening, do not use the same phone or your same email address that you use for everything else. Just don't do it. Yeah, I've got a whole separate phone for my crypto. My laptop is just basically for crypto, and I've got a Discord on another phone. I know it can be a bit shysty out there. So people, be careful, get your authentication apps going, use your VPN. Yeah, keep everything separate.
That's a great recommendation, man. Seriously. But one of the things that we do here in Discord is that, especially in the beginning, we run a couple sessions on security that are run by people that know that inside and out. Everybody, if this is new to you, when they have the stages on security, don't miss it. Don't miss it.
So do not miss it. But yeah, excited to be here. Sniper Division, I'm calling it. Thank you, yeah?
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right.
And by the way, what you just said was there's something important you said in there, is that, you know, you're learning some brand new tools. So I don't know whether you guys have ever learned to ski or learned to play guitar or learned anything. In the beginning, you're a beginner. So don't try and take big leverage trades with a lot of risk. Take your time, keep your risk minimal, learn the lessons. Once you get comfortable with where to enter a trade, where to exit a trade, where to put your stop loss, all that stuff, it's easy to increase the risk and increase how much money you put into a trade. But until you're comfortable with it, take your time. And as a matter of fact, one of the things you'll learn is that most of the exchanges even have a demo mode, or what we call paper trading mode, where you trade on monopoly money. And that's perfectly fine until you get to know your tools well. So who else we have? We have Cryptic Esquire. Hey, Max, what are you doing here, man?
Hey, what's happening, dude?
Hey,
How
Max is one of the minds that's an amazing trader. So you guys should get to know him.
Nice recently. Can you guys hear me?
We can. Where you from?
Mexico City, but I also live in San Diego. You know, I did the course. I think I don't know. I can't remember whether I was cohort number 2 or number 3. I went through all the lessons, right? And I still haven't traded because I still don't feel comfortable, which I'm perfectly fine with it because I know this is a long-term thing. But there was a couple of things that I wanted to ask you. And I'm again, with a lot of people, I am frustrated with this one. And I heard a lot of people that are feeling the same way about it, you know? And I spent a lot of time today going through a lot of the questions, and I never posted a question until recently because I was overwhelmed. One of the things that I wanted to find out is, sorry, I'm also driving in the freeway, so I have to be extra careful. My eyes are on the road, but you know, but I have to focus on the questions I wanted to ask everyone. So, you know, I'm still haven't traded. I actually did a little bit yesterday because I've been following all those Sheldon's YouTubes. And I bought some, can't remember what I bought yesterday, and I have the notes for it, you know. But on the new cohort, I think was maybe number 3, are there going to be any upgrades or changes to the ones that we had on number 2? And my other question is, are we able, the one that we already did the course, jumping on the 3rd cohort or the live sessions? Can you guys hear me?
Yep. Megan, can you answer that part about the upgrade to the course material?
I don't think none of the actual, the lessons are going to be changing this time around. But obviously the live workshops and events, and then the AMAs that are hosted in our community all change with the markets and whatnot. So that's all like very fresh content. But I do not think that any of the lessons themselves are changing this time. No.
Okay, so whatever we learned on the previous one, you guys going to be doing the same, right? Because I also be looking at the whole university that is coming up whenever you guys are ready. And unfortunately, I had all the questions to ask, but I'm just drawing a blank. So I don't know how many people are online. Maybe I'll stop and then raise my hand again, and I have the questions to ask. Oh yeah. Now I know. So I'm in the Americas, right? And I never jump in on the team just because I couldn't understand Discord. How can I go into that group in the America? Is it too late to do it now, or can I? Because that was for the previous cohort, number 2. Is that possible?
Yeah.
Go to the teams and just select Americas. I think you can just get the assignments.
Yeah, it doesn't matter that was cohort number 2 and this is a new one, because it's at the end, all the American team is going to be 1, 2, 3, and 4, right?
No, the teams are going to be just 4, right? So in the teams are going to be all your new cohort. There are separate sections for the previous, for the alumni, to be able to chat amongst each other.
Okay, so how do I find that on Discord? In general chat, is there a section for alumni? How do we find that out?
Yeah, if you can see the general chat, right?
Okay,
And
I'm driving. Yeah.
Yeah, well, go look there. You'll see sections that are available to you as an alumni, and then the different geographical teams are specifically for cohort 4.
Or cohort number 3 or number 2, right?
Yeah, they're no longer in the team. Those people are all in general chat.
Oh, okay,
together.
got it. I got it. So whatever cohort it ends, then becomes a alumni group, right? For the American and for the other three.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, okay. I have another question, but I don't remember. Yeah,
Okay, so to answer your question, Vitek, the smaller groups situation will only happen closer to the end of Sniper 4.
Okay.
The idea is that we need to give everyone the opportunity to first finish their courses and their content. So for now, you'll be in your bigger region groups, so Africa, APAC, Europe, Americas, and UK and rest of the world.
Yeah, I'm from
So-
South Africa. Is it gonna be my region or is it gonna be my country?
Your region.
Okay, cool.
Yeah,
All right.
so later on, by the closer towards the end of week 2, you'll be able to start finding people in specific groups or in specific regions. Then you'll be able to find people who have similar goals to you.
Okay, 100%. All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a great evening, everyone.
Oh, you've been muted for me. That's why. Now I hear you. Okay, so our previous trade got stopped. Look at what Bitcoin is doing. Bitcoin is giving in big time now.
Where is this a red charts are blue?
Mhm. Yeah, but if we lose this, that's gonna be fucked up. Like, oh, I had this long here. It's gonna be if we probably yeah. It's just weird what's happening now. I don't know. This seems like you see. Okay, so let's do this. Oh no, yeah, it's something. It's probably some news. I think it's some news happening. Is someone speaking now or?
No. We're all just listening to you right now.
Yes, am I unmuted?
Yes.
Yeah. We generally follow Bitcoin to get a direction of the movement on coins, the old coins. Is it strange to be having a short on Bitcoin and a long on something else? Should the other one just wait until Bitcoin stabilized?
No, it's absolutely fine. You can be long and short in different coins. It all depends on TA.
Okay. No, it's just that everybody says you work on Bitcoin first, you get direction on Bitcoin, and then that's the direction you must go. So I was working with Bitcoin and ZIL, and it was yesterday I had a situation where Bitcoin was going on a short and ZIL I had as a long. When I looked at it, I thought, no, something can't be right here. I must have made a mistake. But so I cancelled the ZIL and only to find out that I was actually right. So you can have the one going up and the other one going down.
Yeah. It definitely can happen.
Okay, great. So it's. Would you say that it's if you're working on a weekly chart or a daily chart, so you're looking at a long-term trade, is that better than actually going into short-term trades? Because like that, you're actually utilizing your money and you're just letting it run. Whereas short-term trades, you can be in and out.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's why I don't really take, but this is also preferences. I do not take long-term trades because I just don't like the fact that we stay in the market overnight and stuff like this.
Okay, if you take a weekly, if you're looking at your weekly chart, would that tell you that you're actually going to wait approximately a week for trade to play through, or is that not relative?
You can get it from your back testing, so you can see what happens. So if you look at, for example, in the RSI, you can just see like how long you go back test every time it hit to the top, every time it went to the bottom, every time it hit to the top. So you will have an idea how long it took in general. So then you can go from there, but you will not have a definitive answer. Like, yeah. So you.
4 hour chart. The 4 hour chart doesn't necessarily mean you're going to wait 4 hours for your.
Oh, no, sorry. No. Yes, no. So the 4 hour chart. So the chart is, so all these candles represent. Do you guys know what these candles represent, or should we go through them, or?
I know what the candles represent. I'm just trying to, I find myself, I put a trade on and I've looked at the 4 hour, 1 hour and 30-minute charts to get my entry. And then I put the trade on and then it feels like it's taking too long to get through. And then I've got 6 or 8 hours and I cancel the trade, because for me, it feels like having looked at the 4 hour trade, it should have played through already.
Can I answer this one for you?
Sure, because I don't understand fully. Thank you.
Right. So charts and timeframes, you'll need to understand that the hour or the 4 hour doesn't necessarily mean it will play out in that time. So this is a good example or standard example that I can give you on how to determine how long a trade will take to play out. So take any time frame that you're looking at, whether it be 15-minute, 1 hour, day, and for a rough estimate, you can multiply it by 4. So generally, in 4 movements of that time frame, it will be most likely the time it will take for a trade to play out on that time frame. So if you're looking at the 4 hours, it can take up to 16 hours for a 4 hour trade to play out, sometimes even 2 days. So if you're looking at a weekly chart,
I understand the more volume that's going through on a coin, obviously the quicker it will play through. Like something like Ethereum or Bitcoin's got a lot more volume than some of the other altcoins. But at what stage do you realize that this is not going to hit your target after the 4 times 4 or 4 times 1?
so that comes down to how the market perceives the liquidity. So it's not that it won't hit your target, it's just if it doesn't hit your target at that point in time, it just means it was too early. The chart will always go to a point where you do your TA, but if it doesn't reach the points you've set, then it means it wasn't the time for the chart to get to that point on the chart. So it means that you have
Sometimes you're watching it and it picks you up, it triggers you into the trade, and then it shoots up maybe a third of the way, and then it just hangs and hangs and hangs. And that's the point that I'm sort of like saying, no, I've made a mistake. Obviously, I'm second guessing myself. And then I cancel the trade only to find out that a day later it did hit target.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
so that-
Right, so- but also, sorry, Jackie, sorry.
no, you can hop in here.
Now I understand the question. Now I understand the question from what you were explaining. So it's very important that you follow your trade. So you don't get out of your trade until your strategy tells you to get out of the trade. So let's say I entered a long here. I'm just saying something. Entered a long here with a stop here, and my target is up, like here. So if I start following my trade, then I start drawing a trend line as well, right? So maybe like this, something like this I draw. And then I'm following it. I don't get out until this trend line is broken. So I'm just gonna wait for it. This is all here, and then I'm waiting, and it gets broken. So it doesn't mean that if I set a trade on the beginning, it doesn't mean that I have to marry that trade. What we really say is don't get out in advance is like, for example, like you have this, something like this. And then you set the trade and you're like, oh man, like, oh shit, I'm in 5% profit. I'm going to close this trade, because then you're going to lose on the long term. You know what I mean? So this is what it means. But if you have a trade and you're like, okay, so it's moving up. I can even draw the trend line like this, to be very honest with you. And I'm like, okay, I would have been stopped out here. The reason why I wouldn't draw it, because a pullback, as I said in the very beginning, a pullback is evident. So I would rather draw it sorry. I would rather draw it this way because I know that the 4-hour will have some kind of pullback and that's healthy. So I just be like, okay, so here you have this. So this is a
That was an ideal example. I went short this morning on Ethereum and Bitcoin and ZIL. I went short from quite a reasonable height and I put a long stop loss in and it came right down, but it didn't quite come down to where I had put it to go and I left it.
You went short today?
Went short today, yes.
On Ethereum?
On Ethereum and Bitcoin and ZIL. And
Where did you go short?
It was right at the top. Anyhow, it came down to more or less my levels, but it didn't hit my levels. And I thought that Bitcoin was quite a lot higher than ARB and ZIL. I thought, oh well, obviously the volume of Bitcoin will die or whatever the case is. And I held on, and then about 12 o'clock or so, it all reversed and went the opposite direction. In fact, there was a major spike upwards. And I just left it, and now it's all just come back again. I've just closed the trades manually now. But obviously, I'm putting my take profits too far that it's just not getting to where it should be.
Yeah, but that's also like you're gonna learn this in the course.
Okay, no, well, I think I was lucky that it just didn't go straight back up again. Well, it did go. I think it went up and down 2 or 3 times. I just left the trade on to come back to where I wanted it.
Yeah.
I think another thing you can start maybe looking at doing is as soon as you're in profits, try and minimize your risk as soon as you can and try get your position to break even. That way you don't have to stress if the trade is going to play out wrong for you and you can kind of sit back and relax.
Is that by bringing your stop loss up and leaving the trade as is?
Yeah, so try and get your try get your stop loss as close to your entry as possible as soon as you can. And if you get stopped out, you get stopped out. You look for the next trade, but that way you don't have to stress about anything going wrong. You know, you can kind of just focus on what's happening and maximizing your profits.
No, it's not a big trade. It's not. I'm still new at this, so I'm just putting in trades of $10 or $15 at a time on 10 times leverage. But it's just that I'm sitting. Maybe it's because I'm trying to do too many trades in one day, trying to learn too fast, maybe.
Two things to add here. This is also where price action comes in very handy. So when you start following your trade, you always move your stop below the lows. So because if it breaks this low, then we're gonna go lower. So you can always move your stop above these, below these recent lows. So if you follow a trade here, for example, you enter here, right? So this is a higher high. This is a higher low. This is a high. You can move your stop loss here. And then this is a higher low, and then this is a higher high. So you can move your stop loss here. You know, and then this is a higher high, so you can move your stop loss.
Trade to run, but just move the stop loss up.
Exactly, because you will not get. It will be very difficult, or it will take a lot of time to learn to get the tops and get the bottoms. So that's why if you would have moved your stop loss from here, you would have moved it here, then 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 you would have moved it here. And you would have not, you would have made 1.5% to 15% more if you just tried to time the button, the top, but you couldn't. So, but that's still fine, because this made sense to get stopped here, because then afterwards it came down. Yeah, maybe, it came down more than your level. So you could have a re-entered here if you wanted. It just make much more sense to keep following the trade stop loss. And the second thing I want to add. Oh, sorry.
Ethereum and Bitcoin didn't move as fast as the altcoins today that I had. I think I had Phantom, XRP, ARB, Bitcoin, and Ethereum.
The second thing I wanted to mention to you is that it's very important that you said that you're not trading with a lot of money and it's only $5 10x. It's very important to start thinking about risk reward. So stop thinking about dollars, start thinking risk reward. Why? Because if you can do it with $5, you can do it with 2,000.
I do, I go on a 3 between 1% and 3%, but then I'm trading on more than one coin, so it's defeating the purpose.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll have to get down to just maybe 1 or 2 coins and stick to my 1, 2, and 3%.
But like when I say risk reward, don't necessarily think about percentages. Think about the risk reward. So what is your reward to what you're risking?
I'm working on 3 to 1.
Yes, exactly, at least. So that means that you're risking one amount to win 3.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
you have
risking.
4 trades and only be profitable once, or you make it once and you still at break even.
Oh, no, it's and I'm sort of like with the stop losses, I've been working around about 2% on the stops. That's been working out quite well for me. I haven't been stopped out. Today I put longer
2%, you said?
Yeah.
At 10x?
Yeah.
That's 20% stop loss, right?
Well, if you take it like that, yeah, I didn't even think of it like that.
But that's very big.
It works.
What is it?
I just didn't, I don't like getting stopped out. I've had several times that I get triggered into the trade and triggered right out of the trade because my stop loss was too tight.
No, Cindy, look. It's very important. What we were just talking about is super important. So setting your trade based on the fact that you don't want to get stopped out is gonna get you wrecked sooner or later. You never set your stop loss based on the fact that, okay, I'm gonna set a 2% stop loss because that's what I like. It doesn't work that way. It works in a way that you look at your chart and I say, so for example, here, I say, we have this here, we have this as a resistance level, we have this as a resistance level. So for example, if I want to take a long here, this is just an example, I'll probably keep my stops somewhere here because this I think is a support, not resistance, sorry, support. So this we have a support level. So I would assume it would not go lower. And if it's 0.62, that's fine. If I go on the 4-hour chart, I will say, okay, so my stop should be below these lows. So this 1.5%. So it should work. And I'm telling you this because I've been the exact same way as you are. So you should make your way of making it like observing the trade the other way around. What I mean by that. So if I see a trade here, right? I go like this, whatever. And then I see, okay, I want to take a short here because for whatever reason. The way to do it is not that I take a short position, I put my stop loss to 2%, no matter what, and then I just move my risk or move my tool wherever I want it. So it's 1, 2, 3. The way to take a trade is to find a good point. Let's say I want to take a short here because I think that this is creating a double. Let's say I want to take a short here for whatever reason. We're gonna look at this just quick. Yeah, this should be, again, I would take this long, but this something is going down. I think it's some news or something happening. I don't know why the market is dumping so hard. This was a level for me too long. Anyway, so you say, I want to take a short here for whatever reason. It makes sense for you. So you will keep your stop loss at levels that make sense for you, whether it's 5% or 2% or 1% or 0.6%. I do not take a trade, or I try not to take a trade that's more than 5% stop loss, because it will get me wrecked. That's what I like. Okay. But I trade with like at least 1 to 5 risk reward. So what I want to do is that, and then when I set it here, then I set my target. If I think, not because I want to make 3% or 8% or whatever, I set my target based on the chart. So for example, if I look here on the 4-hour, let's say, I just want to rewind that. Let's say, I don't actually love to see the whole picture. So I say, okay, I want to trade the pullback on this one, let's say on the 12-hour. So I want to get in on a long position right? I want to get in a long position and I'm expecting a pullback. So I'm just going to pull my Fibonacci tool and I'm going to be, okay, I'm expecting a pullback to these ranges, right? This is the golden zone. You will learn this all in the course. So I'm expecting a pullback here. So when I take a long at these levels, I will set my stop loss because let's say you set 2% here. You see, it's not good on the 12 hour. The 2% doesn't make any sense. Because there's
I would have to find a place underneath.
right.
last,
So you set let's say here or let's say here or so you find and when you set it, then you look at your target and you say, okay, it probably will come back to this level. And when you identify these two levels based on the chart you're seeing, you will look at your risk reward and you will see it's 2.55. So it's not worth taking the trade. You see what I'm saying? So the risk reward tool is not something for you to magically adjust. So it will say 1 to 3. It's a tool for you to understand whether the trade is worth taking or not. And if it's not worth taking, move on. That will be another trade. So for example, here, I want to take a short here because I think this is a great idea to short because I think it is. So I'll just take a short, I'll put my stop loss here. It's 5%, it's 50%. So that means if you put in $10, you will lose $5 if you don't get it right. And the chances are, there are chances that you see, we just had a live trade that went into our stop loss. We lost 5% on our trade. So, but that's fine. But imagine doing that with 50% of the money that you put in the trade. And then I set my target based on whatever. I can set it based on a Fibonacci tool. I say it's going to come into my golden ratio. So this is my way. What would be the risk reward? It's 3.8. So if my volume checks out, my RSI checks out, my Fibonacci checks out, my trend line checks out, everything checks out, I can take the trade because the risk reward says it's good. Does that make sense?
Oh, no, it makes sense. I'm with you on that. I have been forcing the 3 to 1 and obviously going to the wrong target. Because my stop loss is so big, I'm obviously squeezing my 3 to 1 and I'm going to the wrong target, and that's why my trades are not playing through. So it's a combination of errors. That's why I'm here, is to learn.
Okay. I hope it helped, buddy. See you around.
Definitely did. Thanks a lot.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right, mine's a general question here. Sheldon mentioned something like, in one of his videos, he says something like, you bank your money and forget it in a certain way. Was he speaking of cashing out and putting it into fiat, or is he just saying putting it in his wallet, whatever hard wallet or what is he actually talking about? Maybe bank it.
The problem is that I hear you very, very badly. So can you repeat the question short? Try to keep it short because I just don't hear you well.
Okay, hang on 1 second. We'll just put something here.
What happened with Chris? Jackie, do you know?
His power went out, so he isn't available at the moment. So I'm hopping in here for him.
Oh, great, Chris.
Yeah. Tobias, if you want, I could answer your question. I heard most of it. So basically she was asking, when should, according to Chris is back, according to Sheldon, when should they, as the students, be taking profits out of their accounts, and how should they be doing that? Should they be doing it to their wallet? Should they be taking it out into fiat? Or what is the steps that they need to take to keep value?
Good. Should we answer it or should I or?
That was the question.
Oh yeah, okay, cool. That's like it's personal preference. Like really it's personal preference. If you live from trading, you'll probably take some profit off the table. If you don't, then you might not want to. What I think is profit is only profit if you hit your so to say bank account. So it doesn't have to be fiat, but it has to be yeah. So for example, if you use a Plutus or crypto.com, whatever account, I think it's money that you can spend. That's when it's profit. Otherwise, it's just an investment or money waiting on a trader account. So how you take it out is it's all on you. Like you can sell it into fiat, you can transfer it to your bank account, you can use Plutus or crypto.com or like any other banking services to spend. You can use Binance card to spend it. It's all about you. Does that reply to the question? You think is that an answer?
Yeah, I think that's a good answer.
Tobias USA is up here. Tobias, do you want to say something or are you just chilling here?
You just answered the question.
Would this cute? Oh, yeah, okay. You asked the question. Okay, sorry. Okay, cool. Oh. Patria.
Hello?
Hey, man.
Hi. Yeah. Hi. Thanks. What are you doing? It's very overwhelming for me.
Yeah, don't worry, man. Just before you get going, don't get overwhelmed. Really, it's all in the course. You have plenty of time. Don't get scared of this. Do not get scared of this. Really, like, don't feel that way. Sorry for interrupting, but it's very important. Like, do not close this shit and say like, "Oh my God, these idiots talk to me 2 hours about stuff that I don't understand," because it's gonna get.
No, actually, now it's very so. Actually, now it's starting making sense for me. Because I went into crypto like in the last stages of the bull run in 2021. And so first I said, okay, we'll just don't spend a lot of money. And I just will put like $1,000, then another 1,000. And all of a sudden I went with like around 100,000 euros in invested in crypto. And actually, so I found this guy on the by chance, and I had no idea what I was doing, but I was